back to the fundamentals of how you have to approach things to put yourself in the best position to be helpful to not just your family and your lineage, but all of us. You know what I mean? So let's get into it, right? So we're talking to young black men today. So all my single mothers, even if you a family where you got some dad, mom, y'all got kids, this is still game everybody can use. You feel me? So and a lot of this is coming from, just to preference this, what I see from our young men today. Like when I look at the generations of black men in America, I personally feel it's getting worse, just as far as the level of hard work, the commitment to particular things, how we interact. It's changing, and some of it's getting worse, but we're going to address it today, right? So all my parents out there, first thing we need to do, right, if we want our men, because I know we're talking about dating. The topic of the show is how do we prepare our young men for the dating game? But all of this is going to make sense here in a minute, right? So how do you prepare your young man to court a woman? The first thing we have to do with young men that are in your house, young men that you are close with in your family, young men have to get familiar with hard work. Some level of hard work has to be instituted in their schedule so they can get used to this. Any man, I don't care how successful you're going to be, whether it be just at your job or in the business forum, a particular level of hard work and dedication is always going to be necessary, right? And this has everything to do with dating as well. Because if we're talking about a young man taking a woman out, being the best possible fit for a woman, hard work has to be there. Like there's no way around that, right? We're going to get into some other stuff in a minute, but there's no way around that. So if you have a young man, the first thing you have to institute is some form of hard work. This can be with sports. That's why we use sports a lot. Sports teaches hard work, leadership, how to follow orders, all these things. You can try sports. You can try getting him a male role model if there's no father around. All of these type of things can help family. You can start with making sure he has particular chores. If you want him to cut the grass, you want to make sure his room is clean. You want to find a spot in your house that needs to be cleaned out. The point is, a young man needs to understand the value of hard work. Too many young men now, black men specifically, like I'm speaking about my community, Black people specifically, Black young men specifically, they don't value hard work. They not all, too many of them don't value hard work, don't understand the need of like just the simple premise of getting the job, how beneficial this can be. You see what I'm saying? So as parents, as elders, it's our job to lead our young men in the right direction. So the topic of the show, y'all, today is how should we or how should young men approach the dating game? So we're gonna get our young men right, because a lot of times I come on here and we're talking about police brutality, we're talking about mass shootings, we're talking about genocide, we're talking about all these different things that are negatively affecting our community. We're talking about wealth, like how much we actually own in this country. Did a show the other day about reparations, the fact that this country owes us money. Believe it or not, if you want your young man to participate in this movement in a healthy manner, if you want him to proceed in life in a healthy manner where the things I just mentioned don't affect him as much, it's imperative that he picks the right partner. It's imperative that he has kids with the right woman. You see what I'm saying? And all of these things can be taught. Like there's things you can talk to your kids about, talk to your young men about, that'll give them a better perspective on how to approach the dating game, family. So let's get into it. So like I said, first thing is hard work. Some type of hard work. You got to work them. You got to make them do the dishes. You got to make them go outside and mow the lawn. You got to make them do some type of like strenuous work. And this is something I'm learning, family. Being like, y'all need to realize, me being a man with 5 kids, started off hella early. I always talk about my story, but have perfected things. There are certain things I wasn't aware of, certain things I'm getting better at, but I'm bringing all of that to y'all because these are things we all need to be aware of. You know what I mean? So some amount of hard work. Now, if it's 2 parents in a home, typically a father can take care of some of this, making sure he does strenuous chores, making sure if you do some type of strenuous work, you bring them with you. If it's just a woman, maybe a little more difficult, but you still have to institute, and I call it tough love, basically, because putting your kid in a position to be successful sometimes, like seeing what they may need in a particular moment that they don't see. This is us loving our children, and they may not like it. They may not want to, but who gives a shit what they want when it comes to certain things? See, so we need to prepare our young men for the dating game, make sure they pick the right woman. We got to make sure you got a hardworking man, right? You got to make sure your young man is working hard, so we know when he gets a family, if and when he decides to procreate, if and when he decides to move out of your house and get a woman or whatever, you'll know, okay, he'll be cool because he's willing to work hard. You see what I'm saying? So hard work is definitely important. Something I should have probably said first too, and I see this all too often, unfortunately. Black family, like Black parents, make sure your young man knows how to groom himself. Make sure your young man understands the importance of brushing his damn hair, making sure he brushes his damn teeth, clothes is ironed, not wrinkled, cologne. You see what I'm saying? All of these, because we're talking about like his potential in the dating game. Like when he finally procreates and bring you home a grandchild, how do you want your legacy to continue? I don't think we think about a lot of these things enough. Now, of course, we need to be preparing ourselves as well when talking about how should a young man approach things. If we have young men, of course, we should be in a position where we have a solid relationship, a solid structure, resources, all these things. That goes without saying, but we're talking specifically about the young men, right? So boom, make sure he's working hard. Make sure he appreciates grooming himself, whatever that may be. Make sure he takes a little time getting himself ready. You know what I mean? Paying attention to the details. Do my nails need to be cut? Did I put on deodorant today? Like, let's be honest. Young men are pretty fucking nasty for the most part. You know what I mean? Like most young dudes, when it comes to their room, how they take care of certain things, it's kind of a griminess that comes with it. You know what I mean? And I think that goes beyond all races, but I'm talking specifically about my young brothers. Make sure they know how to groom themselves. Make sure they take pride in how they look. Now, I'm not one for the buying all the goddamn new pair of Jordans and you don't got a 401k or you don't got a savings or any of that. I'm not on that type of shit, but your kid should look nice. Now, a misnomer is, and this is my Black family, everybody in my community need to realize this. It does not cost a lot of money to make sure your child looks decent. I repeat, it does not cost a lot of money to make sure your child looks decent. Sometimes we get it fucked up and we begin to, because of like how our communities have been subjugated, specifically because of how this society has made us feel about ourselves, a lot of us will mask that with materialism and less